Hello. Hey, I was on my way home from running errands into town, and I saw something strange. I had to stop and get a video of it. I was curious. This is a volcano, and I was just curious if this volcano was venting steam. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. We got rain today, so I have to go check on a couple of things. Take you guys along and share a little story with you guys. Living in the West, especially in Oregon and in the Cascade Ranges, we're surrounded by volcanoes. In addition to that, we have the big Cascadia fault line that runs nearby, so we get occasional earthquakes that rock the farm, and we also get occasional tremors. And then I do know of two volcanoes that are in really close proximity to my homestead. Really close. With one is about 30 miles as the crow flies to the east of us. It sits right in the backbone of the Cascade Ranges, which is a volcanic range of mountains created by volcanism. And we don't live too far from the famous Crater Lake, which is also known as Mount Mazama. And then the closest volcano we have to us is within about 8 miles as the crow flies, and that is Olson Mountain. Now, a little bit quick history on Mount Mazama, also known as Crater Lake. When it erupted, the caldera collapsed on itself, filled up with water, and it's the deepest clear-water lake, I believe, on this continent, at least in the United States. And when it erupted, it blew rock, debris in a huge area. We have debris down here right on our homestead from Mount Mazama, and they've even identified rocks blown clear up into Alberta, Canada, and also found debris clear over in Iceland. Yeah, that was some huge eruption. So, just so you guys know, we live where our homestead sits. It sits halfway between Crater Lake National Park and the Redwood National Forest. That's where we're at. We're in the Cascade Ranges. But the closest volcano is Mount Olson, which a little town of Shady Cove sits right at the base of that volcano. A lot of people, I don't even think they realize they live at the base of a volcano. Now, we have lava flows that were identified from that volcano around us. There's one right over that mountain behind me that is nearby. So we live in a geologic active area, and when we have to build our homes, we have to build them according to seismic activity, so they wouldn't shake off their foundations. Like when I put the foundation under my home right there, I built that foundation where it's strapped down every 4 feet according to the seismic code for our region. But here's a video I wanted to share with you guys that I filmed on my way home the other day from running an errand in town. What you see here is Mount McLaughlin, also known as Mount Pitt. Now, Mount McLaughlin sits about 30 miles east of Medford, or the Rogue Valley, and about 30 miles east of where I live. And also, there is another feature on the other side of Mount McLaughlin, and it's a huge lake. It's Klamath Lake, which is Klamath Falls. So it sits between Klamath Falls and the Rogue Valley, and that's where that mountain is located. So this is what you're seeing, the plume coming off of the crater. Now the crater is on the northeast face of the volcano, as you see in this image. That face is where I noted what I suspect was steam. It could be steam venting off from the volcano, because lately we've been having big earthquakes off the coast. I went into the Pacific Northwest earthquake index maps and looked at that and found that there's a couple of very large quakes just off the coast. And sometimes we feel those quakes, sometimes. Now, if I'm in the backyard or on my deck, I can see the pond and the water sloshing back and forth because the earth is rolling, and that's the result of the earthquake off the coast. So yes, we are anticipating the big Cascadia slip, and that could happen imminently, anytime. But are we prepared for it? As well as we can be. Now, I caught this really interesting video as the storm was moving through. We were filming on my friend's ranch, who owns like a mile-long private road. It's paved, so it was an area that we were filming a movie that I'm in, and I also produce. I'm executive producer of this movie called The Eve of May. And while I was setting up there, I noticed the cloud formations on the other side of the volcano, Mount McLaughlin off there in the distance. And this is the image sped up. And what it is, it's not the volcano erupting. I just thought it was interesting where the source of this anomaly, this weather phenomenon was happening, was right directly behind the volcano. Because as I noted earlier, there's a huge lake over there called Klamath Lake. So the temperatures were right where the water was evaporating up into the atmosphere and creating this huge cloud that looked ominous. It just looked like the volcano was erupting. So I thought that was pretty cool that I got that video. So yeah, with living in our region, we anticipate and experience volcanoes or earthquakes from time to time. Volcanoes, haven't experienced one yet, with the exception of May 18th, 1980, when Mount St. Helens erupted. I was living in Salem, Oregon at that time, and I saw the plume, the big cloud coming up north of Portland, and I was able to observe the actual eruption back in 1980. Yeah, that was ominous. So that's the only firsthand experience of volcanism I've seen with my own eyes. And this issue the other day when I was just filming this, I don't know really what was going on. It just appeared that there was venting coming off of the caldera, the throat of the volcano, of just steam. Now, there's in the news lately, they're talking about a lot more activity going on along the Cascade Ranges, as well as the Pacific, the Cascadia fault line. And one of them is of concern is the Three Sisters area. There's a huge part of land that's bulged up over a few years by about 12 inches. They're monitoring via satellite, so we know there's volcanism, there's uplift going on, there's magma flowing. So we don't know, I don't know what's going on, but this is just my personal observations and my concern. Yeah, it's just a small concern. So we've really got the chamomile taking over the farm back here. It's just a lot of chamomile. But anyway, I just thought I want to share that with you guys. and let you guys know that, yeah, I lived here all my life on the Oregon coast. I grew up on the Oregon coast. I've witnessed tidal tsunamis. I've actually witnessed one that was triggered in 1964, I think it was, from the Great Alaska Earthquake. And then I seen the aftermath of that. That's what I saw. I didn't actually see the tsunami. I saw the aftermath of that. I did see what they call sneaker waves, which I suspect were probably just small tsunamis coming in triggered by those earthquakes off the coast of Oregon. Because I grew up along the southern Oregon coast, and now I live in the Cascade Ranges of southern Oregon. Well, I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm, a little bit on Earth, Wind, and Fire series. Yeah, I cover storms and wildfires because we have periodic wildfires that get near the homestead. That's not. I fear the wildfires more than I fear the earthquakes and the volcanism. Yeah, right now. Anyway, stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon. That alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up. Share our videos on your social media platforms. Helps us out. Remember, be safe, always be kind. I'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye now.